What's up, you guys? My name is Wolfie, and welcome back to Motivational Mondays. A lot of people have been asking me to do the wolf cry back into like my vlogs, Motivational Mondays, reading comments. So I think I'm gonna implement that and see how I like it back in editing. And if I don't, I'll stay with "What ups, guys?" or whatever I say. And if I do like it, then we'll keep doing the howl. But yeah, it's another Motivational Mondays. I'm so glad that you all liked it so much, and that made me so happy, because you might not be able to tell in the video, but I was so nervous. I was like shaking very bad, but my hands were off screen, so you can't really see it, and I was just terrified. But that's not what we're here for. That's a lot of spit. That's not what we're here for, so let's just get right into it. Brandon Donlin, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Brandon Donlin asked me to talk about things to help with depression. Depression is a very touchy subject matter, because so many people suffer from depression, and so many more people, or as many people, suffer from hidden depression. Excuse me. And that's why so many people, usually the biggest signs of hidden depression, you can't really tell. There's like unnatural eating habits, unnatural sleeping habits, stress, irritability. What are a few of the other ones? I looked it up a while ago just to, get kind of a headway about it, and they're hard. It's very hard to tell, because usually people with hidden depression are super happy, and that sounds weird and wrong, but the strangest thing is that people with hidden depression try to make others happier. Robin Williams, funniest guy ever, made so many people happy. Oh, I miss him so much. Had hidden depression and many other things, but he made people laugh and made people happy, and that was one of the things. There was he used to say something along the lines of, the people who are the loneliest make others smile the brightest, because they know how hard it is to be alone. Which is really, I know that's not word for word, but that's paraphrasing, and that really hits home, because there's not a lot of things you can do to help depression unless you seek help. That's one of the biggest things. Everybody's always talking about, oh, you're on drugs, you need to seek help. Oh, you're an alcoholic, you need to seek help. So many things about seeking help, when nobody ever says, hey, you're depressed, go seek help. They say, get over it. Or, no, you're not depressed, you're just sad. Which, I understand the two differences between being depressed and sad. There's it's huge differences, but at the same time, the line is very thin. And by that I mean, you can be sad and get over it, and you can be depressed and seem sad. So, but you can't get over depression. That's just something you can't do. And depression is, I wrote it down so I'd remember. The definition of depression is feelings of severe despondency and dejection. I don't know what those words mean, because I'm not that smart, but I'm rambling so much about just defining depression when I should start talking about how to help it. And ways that you can help it are, in my experience, because I've dealt with depression, and again, anyone that I tell that to, even you guys might say, whoa, no way, he's way too happy. But I was clearly depressed at one point in my life, and then there have been multiple times where I've been hidden, like secretly depressed. Which is why I love making you guys laugh and everybody else laugh, because I also get waves of it. There are times when I feel super down, and I feel like I'm not gonna make it, or I don't feel like doing anything, and you feel like you have no energy, and it's just sucked out of you when you feel that way. And it's the worst. Anyone who has it knows what I'm talking about. And the ways that you can do better is, you can have a strong, supportive group around you. I had my family, my friends, my girlfriend. Now I have you guys. Everyone that keeps you up. There's also other remedies, like one thing I started doing when I got really depressed one time, I started to do meditation. I was working out a lot, and I thought that would help, and it did. But meditation, it helped a lot because it helps clear your mind and get rid of the things that don't matter, and then the things left really matter. And that may seem like all zen and 420 meditation, but it's all real. Everybody thinks that, that's a joke, you could just sit there for an hour and think about nothing and be calm. It's actually really relaxing and nice, and it helps with a lot, in my experience. It may not be for you if you suffer from that, which is perfectly fine. There's other things you can do. You can get out stress, like with working out, boxing, sparring, other things that I like to do when it was that way. You can do things like focusing on a task. Like if I get into my own head too much, I'll focus on YouTube, focus on talking to you guys, focus on talking to my family, go out with them and see a movie, or play a game with friends, or even just talk to a friend. Talking is the biggest remedy to help with that. I know it sounds weird, but it is, because all you have to do is tell someone and that'll help. But you can tell them and have a conversation while it's helping, and then in turn it'll take your mind off of it. See, it's kind of hard to explain, but I'm trying to get it out in the best way that I know possible. The only other things that I can think of to help with depression are like drugs, but I think that you should try other things before that. Don't initially go to someone and be like, give me drugs, I'm depressed. That's not healthy. And I know it's really hard, but sometimes you will get knocked down so hard you will not get up. Like wake up, which is what I meant. You get up, but you won't want to get up for the entire day or week or whatever, and you'll feel completely out of energy, which is fine, especially if you have something like depression. But the biggest thing to do that is to, no matter what, hold on to anything that will make you get out of there and just try for that day. Because anytime that I had been super depressed about something, or just depressed, like my sickness or whatever, I would have to just go mind searching for one tiny little minute thing that I could find that would help give me a rope and pull me out of there. And surprisingly enough, it worked. A lot of these things are for different people though. Don't try everything I just said, and don't try nothing. There's always something that might help, and you'll never know until you try. So that's all I've got for depression, and I hope it can help at least a little. The next one was from That Wolf Though. If you could do an episode on depression and anxiety. We just did depression, which is why I'm glad that I saw both these comments, because one had depression and one had depression and anxiety. So instead of just using one comment for two things, I get to use two comments for two things, which I like. It gives you guys more credit because this is all thanks to you. Anxiety though, that's another big one. Anxiety's definition is a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease, typically about an imminent event or something with an uncertain outcome. Which makes perfect sense, because that's another thing that I personally have had to deal with. I don't mean to say, oh, I have to do this and I have to do this, so it's as hard for me as it is for everybody else. Everybody has their own problems, and that's perfectly fine. But these two subjects are something that I've had to deal with, which at the time sucked, but now I'm glad because I can help you all with it, or try to. But anxiety is really just like an unnerving feeling that you're not going to finish in time, or that something's creeping up on you and you can't do anything to fix it or stop it. And that's not true at all, because usually with the situation you just need to step back. These are some ways to help. You just need to step back from the situation, breathe for a second. You know, I know it sounds stupid and everybody says it, but 3 to 5 big deep breaths. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And then count to 10, and then look around you and see what were you freaking out about. That's a big thing that can help, huge, because that's something that helped with me, because this past year has been so hectic and painful and such a problematic year for me personally. This past year has felt like 5 years I've had to deal with, and it hasn't even been a year yet. But 6 months ago ish, I went to my doctor, and basically what they told me is that you're not getting better and you will need a kidney transplant, and you're gonna need all these things. It's gonna make it terrible for your life and so much harder. And then I braved it. I took it with a brave face, which is what most people do at something like this. And then when they left the room, I broke down. I can't explain what happened, really. All of a sudden, I couldn't breathe, and I felt my heart beat skyrocket. I started shaking. My eyes were getting all fuzzy and blurry. I was hyperventilating. I got freezing cold all of a sudden, and I felt numb, and I felt like I was gonna pass out. I had so many flooded emotions and nerves and things that I can only define it as either a panic attack or an anxiety attack, because of these things that they told me I'm gonna have to deal with and take care of. And they basically told me, this life you've always wanted, we're gonna make you put it on hold while you're being put into pain so that you can get fixed. It's not something you want to hear. And I felt that, and I would never wish that upon anyone, ever, because of the way that it felt. It was terrible. And if any of you suffer from anxiety or panic attacks, I'm speechless, because if you have to deal with it on a regular basis, I can't imagine how you can. I had it once, and it stuck around for around half an hour, but it was terrible. It was one of the worst 30 minutes of my life. And to have to deal with that every day or every week or however much people have to is terrible. And I know I got way off subject for a couple minutes there just to tell this story, but I'm hoping it pans into this with it so that people really know the seriousness of anxiety. It can really take you on. And the ways to deal with anxiety are somewhat the same of depression. They're not exactly the same, because like the breathing you can help, and meditation is another one that helps both. Anxiety you also may get from wanting to finish a project in school, in your workplace, whatever it may be. And things to stop doing that is don't procrastinate. And I know that's small anxiety. That's something that's not life-threatening. Or maybe it is to some people, which I don't mean to bash on. But you can give yourself more time. You can get help on it. You can not worry about it too much and just, breathe. Maybe go eat. Maybe go hang out with some friends and then come back to it. Take a second to stop. I can't think too much of other ways to help with anxiety, because all of the ways I think of to help with anxiety are the same ways to help with depression. And I don't want to say everything I just said to help with depression and then say the exact same thing for a completely different ailment. But at the same time, they don't have that difference of better ways to treat it. You can still get people like psychologists or therapists who help with anxiety, or you can take a load off. You might feel overburdened by things. Maybe you have 4 kids, a job, you're a single mom, and you have things to do. And that's a big one. Maybe for a second, let your let your parents take the kids for a while, or get a nanny and take a day for you, something like that. Like, if you get too much on you at once, too much being thrown on you, you can get anxious and you start freaking out and you won't sleep and you'll have all these problems. But if you find a way to take some of that weight off, it can really help, even for just like a day. You can even go and read a book by yourself. You can go to certain classes and learn how to do something to occupy yourself. Like I said, a lot is the same of depression, but you can go on vacation, that'll help. But I can't think of too much that's the same or that's different with the two of those. And I apologize for not being able to decipher two different things too much. I really wish that I could figure something out more for you guys, but I really hope that as much as I've said can help anyone who needs help. Thank you so much for That Wolf, though, and Brandon Donlan for commenting and giving me ideas, great ideas for Motivational Monday. And thank you so much, everybody, for loving this series, because I love it and I love talking to you all. But give me more ideas. I love this. I'd love to put 3, 4 more, depending on how long you guys want the episodes, ideas into Motivational Monday, which would be awesome. But again, thank you so much. And if you're suffering with these things, please get help. Please talk to someone. And if no one's there for you to talk to, they have hotlines about these things. And you can go online, you can call them, you can do whatever you want to go. But please, if you need help, get it. And if you don't want to go anywhere, we're all here. We're all in this community together. And we're all here for you. At the very least, I will answer you, or I will try my hardest to answer you, or have someone get to you, because you guys deserve that. But for now, thank you everybody so much for watching this video. Tamanya! Oh, that was a really good episode. Thank you guys so much. I can never thank you enough. But oh my god, just thank you so much.